Hey traders, welcome back to another Sunday video. If you're new to my channel, I do this every week. I go over some trade setups and ideas that I'm looking at myself, and I also usually cover trades that I'm in personally. So let's start there. So my current trade that I have open that I want to show you guys is the NZDCHF trade that I'm in. This trade is the only position that I have on my currency or my OANDA currency trading account. We're currently sitting in a profitable trade, floating around 1,200 bucks here towards the end of last week. Basically, the idea behind this trade, fairly simple. Higher lows coming into this market. My entry was not perfect, but it was still pretty good. We caught, actually, let me change that to a different color. We caught the pullback here at the 50, right? Came back to this previous resistance, held support well, and we've just been looking to try and let this thing run since. Now, I will say this, we've actually broken above this level. So if you guys are in the trade alerts group, if you're in the Discord channel where I've been sharing these trades, let me actually pull that up. I do plan on once the market opens here, updating my positions. So I'm going to go ahead and trail stops on my NZDCHF trade. So for those of you who are already in the Discord, be on the lookout for that. I'm going to go ahead and trail stops likely to this point here, and I'll show you that. My thought process with my next trailing stop, again, my stop loss is still below structure and definitely needs to be updated. So I'm going to probably trail that stop loss right there, put it behind this previous low. So if price breaks back underneath that, then all good, I'll take my profit. But if it continues to rally, we'll try and hold on to this thing and see if we can catch an even bigger winner. But a very nice start to this trade on NZDCHF. I am, like I said, I've still got my stop loss here, so I'd like to just go ahead on the market open. I do plan on trailing that in. Now, for those of you guys who are not in any of these trades, again, the goal here will be to see if we can stay above this line, right? If we start breaking and retesting, there may actually be opportunities to re-enter this idea, or perhaps in my case, even add to the trade. So I do like NZDCHF. It is my favorite currency pair right now, just because, again, the Edge Finder has a nice bias on this. If you're not familiar with the Edge Finder, it is our market scanning tool. It's basically my watch list every day. If you come on my live streams, this is what I do every day. I go through different currency pairs that are showing up on the high or low end of the spectrum on the Edge Finder. This allows me to find trades that have strong bias in multiple categories. So for example, if I'm looking at NZDCHF, you can see why I am interested in it long. It has a buy rating on the Edge Finder, and this is taking into account things like the commitment of traders data, the retail sentiment, what's the crowd doing, right? Seasonality, what does something tend to do during the months of November or December, right? Just the trend reading, pretty obvious. Just using trends, we just use a combination of moving averages to evaluate the strength of a trend. Very simple. GDP growth and interest rates both favor New Zealand, whereas inflation and unemployment favor Switzerland. So this is what we do. We take all these things into account. We take all these factors into account. And then when I say we, there's a team of people that are behind developing this. Myself and Frank on the trading side, offering the trading expertise. And then we have developers and designers and all that stuff that go into this tool. Now, when I talk about NZD being the bias right now, for me, you can see why. It's been across the board a very attractive one, and so far has been playing out really nice. Take a look at, for example, NZDUSD. If you're watching this one going into the week, this one looks bullish, right? You've got a nice upward trend. Market structure looks really healthy, and I've already got this thing marked up from last week. So if you get that 50% retracement, it might be an interesting one, especially if you're short bias on the dollar. This might actually be an interesting idea to play around with. So perhaps on a pullback, this one at the top of the Edge Finder, a nice market structure. This thing has been performing very well since that alert sort of started coming out from the Edge Finder, NZD being on the bullish side. And again, definitely still one that I'm interested in. I prefer NZDCHF, and NZDJPY is another one I like. You can see I actually made some money on this one as well. So I bought over here, closed it, and I'm logged into my brokerage so you can see the orders and stuff that I've been taking on this. So yeah, I mean, NZDCHF, NZDJPY, both of those look interesting, and they are hot on my watch list right now from the Edge Finder. And again, I'm logged into my account, so I'm not showing you fake stuff or anything like that. These are my real trades, real stuff. I really do use the Edge Finder to place pretty much all of my manual trading trades. By the way, you guys, if you're not already taking advantage of it, or if you didn't hear about it, we do currently have a massive sale on the Edge Finder. and our VIP group. So get access to everything we have right now. It's our Black Friday sale. It is the best discount you're going to get all year long. Right there on the screen, you can see use code YTVIP in the bottom right hand of the screen. If you go down into the description and pick out what you want, you can get one, the Edge Finder, the Discord, or both, right? Package it, whatever you want to do. If you want to get access, again, if you've been thinking about getting into our group or getting access to our software tools that we've been building, take advantage of that 40% off discount, apply it to your purchase, and get it today, because this is literally the best time you're going to get it all year. And I already know that by the end of this this sale, we're going to get people who said, I missed it, can I get access to it? And the answer will be no. So don't miss out. Get into the sale if you've been thinking about it. Treat yourself, take advantage of the offer, and get your trading education to that next level. We really do have an amazing staff of people who build the tools and the community that we offer. And it is not like anywhere else you've seen in the Forex world, I can assure you. And I don't say that just arrogantly. I say that confidently because we have a lot of great people behind, the Discord. I'll show that just because, again, it is a very, very rare event for us to have such a big sale. Let me show you what you get inside the Discord. You get to see all the trades that I take. You get to see all the trades that Frank takes, Ivan takes. So the idea behind this is not a blind copy service, but take a look at the trades, understand why they're being taken. Imagine if you could look over the shoulder of people who have been doing this for years and understand the logic behind their trades, screenshots, pictures with each trade, breakdowns, understanding, all of that, right? You also get access to, of course, the public trade ideas section, so you can see where people are sharing their thought process, join the community, get involved here. You can join the chat room where people are discussing ideas all day long. I'm telling you, yes, it is not a free service, but it is worth the money because you're going to probably benefit massively compared to just wandering around by yourself or without any sort of strategy and just losing money in the markets. I am very, very confident it is worth the money. And so again, there you go. There's my push. There's my sales pitch. And again, it is something I confidently sell because I know it is worth the money. Take advantage. Again, link in the description. Let's talk about gold here. A lot of questions about gold recently. It was down, and then it broke to the upside here towards the end of last week. And a bit of an interesting perspective here would be, was this just a higher low, right? We had this downward structure kind of going on. Did we just see that low get formed? Well, let's look at the daily. We need to get context here. So on the daily chart, let's be honest, that downward pressure seems pretty compromised right now. We came up to resistance, right? We found sellers, pushed back down, but it does genuinely look like it may have just been a reload point, and now gold is continuing to march higher. In fact, let's see, was that a fib level? That might have been like a 38.2, just shy of it. Not quite fib level. Regardless, still found some support here. And again, in terms of gold, I don't have a super strong bias just because, again, the Edge Finder right now, pretty neutral. And I've been talking about this recently. A lot of people ask about gold on my streams. If something has a strong bias, I'm going to give you my bias on it, which is going to be, bullish or bearish depending on what the Edge Finder has to say. But if it doesn't have any sort of strong bias, to me, I'm just throwing darts, right? I'm throwing darts when this thing is neutral. So I need some confirmation that something is going to look attractive to the buy or sell side before I go tossing darts, right? So for me right now, the gold market has not figured out a clear path that it wants to go on. For a while, it was very bearish. And if you watch the streams and content, I was very bearish on gold during all that dollar run-up stuff, right? Since then, it's been neutral and just not very decisive. So I would say this, if you're watching gold yourself and you're like, well, what am I watching out for this week? I would say watch for breaks above or below major structure, because right now, again, you don't have a clear directional move. The downtrend is, yes, compromised, but the question is, can we put in some higher highs? Because we had this straight run up. What I think gold buyers need to see is, see that break, see that new high, right? Higher highs coming into this market would be ideal for the bulls, and then looking to try and catch it on the pullback, in my opinion, would be the way to go with it. Now, as we speak, though, gold, again, just kind of in no man's land, not really attractive at any prices. Of course, you have the sell side as well if things flip to the downside and break through structure, and we do, in fact, put in lower highs. that's what we're waiting to see. Market participants are waiting to see higher highs or lower lows, and vice versa, to see where this market really decides it wants to go. Let's take a look at some more currency pairs and commodities. So, of course, oil actually being an interesting one. Let's go look at oil just for a second. U.S. oil showing up on the sell side, and a very interesting one in my opinion. I missed this trade. This would have been a beautiful one. Edgefinder last week was saying, hey, look at oil. It looks sell side. And we got the pullback. We didn't quite get to this zone. This is where I was looking to potentially get short, and you can see that's where I was looking. My idea was sitting around and just missed it before the drop. So congrats to people who did make it into this one. I know I was talking with somebody in the group who caught some nice moves on oil. So congratulations to those of you who did. Unfortunately, I did not. I missed the idea. I put out that trade idea a couple days ago, but just unfortunately did not quite see it happen. Let me see if I can find where I said that. I scroll back here. We had so many ideas. I had one like last week. Oh, yep, here it is. Yep. So this is like a week ago, actually 10 days ago. I was looking at this and it was on my watch list, and I was like, okay, if this thing comes back, I'm gonna look to get short. I really like it. It looks good. Edgefinder was saying sell, and unfortunately, before it ever made it back to my point, it continued lower, and a beautiful sell-off for those of you who caught it. So oil, I'll continue to watch this one, but it's probably out of my reach until we get another retracement. So there you go. So another one, Euro NZD, some of these NZD crosses, again, pretty much across the board. The New Zealand dollar seems to be the favorite. Whoops, I spelled that wrong, NZD. And so when we narrow in here, we're looking at the 4-hour chart. This one, Euro NZD, let's see, if we go from swing high to swing low, you know, it is interesting to me, but only on a deeper retracement. So I don't love this one, and it's pretty far away from an entry. So what about AUD NZD? This one has been in just absolute free fall, as the New Zealand dollar has been the favorite. Similar story, not quite a super attractive one for me right now. Pound New Zealand, super choppy. If you like range-bound markets, this might be one that you pay attention to. But for me, I like that trending market nature. So for me, this is probably not my favorite setup. Let's take a quick pivot and take a look at the indices here for a second, starting with the S&P. S&P 500 looked really healthy at the end of last week, though. You know, an interesting little study is that during the week of Thanksgiving here in the United States, which was this past week, the market historically tends to have a positive drift. And, you know, there's lots of different ideas or thought process behind why that is. You know, people sitting around at home and feeling cheery and they get optimistic about the markets, or maybe just the fact that on lighter volume, you know, there's less fear. People are more, you know, in a good mood, whatever, right? Who knows? The point is, what we see in the data is that historically we tend to see the week of Thanksgiving be positive. And that is in fact what we saw. We saw a nice little drift to the upside right around Thanksgiving. Very nice. I'm currently long on US30. You guys may know that if you've been watching my my live streams and videos recently. I've talked about that often. I'm currently long US30. And if we look here, what we can see is we have a loose idea of a positive move in the stock market. Downtrend seems to have been pretty compromised recently and now starting to tick to the upside. So when I look at this, you know, I'm trying to be bullish on the indices. And let's see, where are they falling on the, I know that US30, yep, US30 still probably my favorite. It's the only one poking up into buy territory, but S&P 500 is close and will be one that I'm also watching. You also have the NASDAQ. NASDAQ in the S&P just trailing into the neutral +2, not quite in the buy territory. So, you know, for me, I can't, I'm waiting for that US30, I'm sorry, not the US30, for the S&P and NASDAQ to show up. But for me right now, currently being long, this is a dream trade for me on the US30. This is my entry. This is where I picked it up. And you know what? I'm not going to, whenever I talk about trades, I like to show them. So let me pull up my, my brokerage where I trade indices, and we'll do this. So, all right. Let's see. We'll go to customized. We'll pull this up. There you go. So there's my current trade on DIA. This is the Dow Jones Industrial, US30, same thing. I just trade on the stock market because here in the US, we are not able to trade CFDs. Like many of you guys outside of the US, you know, you can trade like US30, SPX 500, NAS 100. We can't trade those things on regulated brokers. You can on offshore brokers, but when I'm talking larger trading capital, I like to generally stick it in regulated bodies like Webull, which is the brokerage I'm looking at. Anyways, I'm floating 660 on that trade, so that's a good spot to be in. Nice drift to the upside towards the end of that week, and I just wanted to bring it over to TradingView because it's a bit easier for me to look at. So I do have my stop loss in place. It's below the previous low here. If this level gets taken out, I will be out of the trade for a profit. So can no longer lose on this position. Really nice spot to be in. And as we break through the highs, I'm trying to just hold on to it. You know, my goal is to hold on tight to these trades, not to drop them as soon as they start going into profit. You know, I think a very, very common trading idea is when something goes into profit, grab that profit. And, you know, the old saying is you can never go broke taking a profit, right? And there is truth to that in the sense that if you just did one trade in your entire life and you closed it when it was in profit, then yes, you technically would never go negative. But for me as a trader, I've been trading for years. I've had to take thousands of trades. You know, I need to know that my winners are going to outpace the inevitable losses that I'm going to take. So when I have a trade that starts running like this, I don't look at it and say, let me take this profit. I say, let this baby run, because it very well could be headed, if we break through this resistance, it could just continue as we start the new formation of an uptrend. Is that what I think is going to happen? I don't know, right? For me, I'm not super predictive in my trading. My goal is to try and just hold on to a winner. Again, so how do I handle a trade? Well, when it tells me it's time to get out of the trade, I'll get out. But anything before that, I'm just trading off my gut. So for me, what I've identified is we have a major level of resistance here that broke out. If that level gets broken on the downside, that's my cue to get out of the way of the trade. Until that happens, my goal is to trail stop losses behind this market and let it run for as much as it wants to give. The best traders I've ever known, and majority of hedge fund managers I've spoken with, employ trend following methodologies, which is basically when something starts trending, you don't assume the top of the trend. You hold on to trends and you let them run. And again, that's another thing for another day. If you're inside of the VIP group, I would encourage you to check out, if you're interested in what I just talked about there, if that was curious to you, head over to the education portal in the Discord channel, and you can read up on my strategies and plans there. It is included there. So if you're a member, you get access to, you can download my strategy in a PDF form where I've written out my complete approach after, over half a decade of trading experience, but also possibly more important is the dozens and dozens of interviews I've done with professional traders, my own experience that has led me to become profitable, and much more. So read up on that if that would be helpful to you. Check that out there. And again, remember guys, if you're not already inside of the Discord channel or get access to the Edge Finder, take advantage of our Black Friday sale. This is ending, so I don't want you to miss it. Again, click the links down below in the description, sign up today, get access. It is very worth the money. And I hope to meet some of you guys inside there. Thank you guys for tuning into the video. I hope that you got something out of it. Happy trading this week, and we'll see you back next time. See you later.